Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and welcome to the Brian Tracy Show. We're here today with Jeremiah Magone, who is one of the most talented copywriters in the world today. What people don't realize is that almost all of our economy, hundreds, millions, billions, trillions of dollars, are based on selling something to someone. Is taking somebody and persuading them to buy something that they would not have bought in the absence of your persuasion. And it's always words. One of the things that Jeremiah and I talk about from the beginning is copy is persuasion on paper. It's selling on paper. It's persuading people to take a course of action that they wouldn't have taken. And sometimes a good copy line, a good piece of advertising on paper can increase sales of a product or service by 5 or 10 times. And it's astonishing. Most of the stuff that we read, you look at this and say, what on earth is the message they're trying to convey? What are they trying to persuade us of? And I see companies like IBM and Citibank and some of the biggest companies in the world, and their stuff is terrible because it's so, there's no specific call to action. There's no specific benefit that they are offering. There's nothing that will cause a person to really stand up and say, I want that. And yet they spend jillions of dollars and advertise in the biggest publications in the world. Anyway, so I love copywriting.
Excellent.
And I'm very happy to see you.
Very nice to meet you, Brian.
So tell us a little bit about you and what you do and how you've gotten into it. You've got 18 copywriters who work in the hotel industry to generate immediate action and sales rather than perhaps buying someday. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you do and how you do it.
Yeah. Well, we work to help hotels get more direct bookings because that's what it is all about at the end of the day.
Yes.
A lot of the hotels right now, they're kind of under control of third parties.
Yes.
Like Booking.com and Expedia.
Yes.
They're controlling 60 to 70% of their business.
Really?
Yeah, with 25% commissions. So
wow.
To push back, hotels are realizing they need to create their own direct marketing channels.
Yes.
And so we're working to turn the hospitality industry into a direct response industry.
Wow.
Because direct response is direct bookings, right?
Yes. And they're much less expensive. At direct billing, you don't have to pay commissions and residuals and everything else. So
mm-hmm.
that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
And how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. What we're doing, I did a presentation yesterday up in Anaheim.
Yes.
And we're showing people that if you get a direct connection to
yes.
guests, they don't just book once, but
right.
they come back again and again,
right.
and you create a relationship with them.
Yes.
So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and the relationship is the most important thing of all.
Mm-hmm.
My family and I go to a hotel-like condominium complex in Maui every year. Mm-hmm. We came across this complex in about 30 years ago, mm-hmm. and we've been going back ever since. And it's exactly. always because of the relationship
exactly.
that you form at the beginning. You make it easier for people mentally and emotionally just to go back there, mm-hmm. rather than to start to search around and find something else. So let's talk about your mission and your mm-hmm. vision. You're a very talented and intelligent person. You could do lots of things. Why have you chosen to do this? And especially, what is your future? Where mm-hmm. do you want to be 5 or 10 years from now?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. My mission really is to put hotels back in charge of their destiny.
Yes.
Because we want them to be themselves. But they need the budget. They need the revenue to do that.
Yes.
And right now revenues are sky high.
Yes.
They're the best they've ever been. But what goes up comes down. So
yes.
we need to help hoteliers build direct marketing channels that reach their most valuable segments. So they build that relationship. They build yes. that repeat business. I call this making their own demand channels.
Right.
In the future, I want to make sure that we take those channels and we broaden it out to social media, to either working with celebrities or whatnot.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff to do. This is an exciting time, but
yes.
it's also a challenging time.
Yes. And so where do you want to see this industry, especially your part of the industry, in 5 or 10 years from now? When people think about you, they say, "Oh, Jeremiah, yeah. What does he do?" And what would you want them to respond?
Okay. I want to be known for helping hotels harness their culture.
Yes.
And really use the area, the attractions around their area
Yes.
to build a unique culture. Because here's the thing, people are always looking on their phones these days, right?
Yes.
They've always got their heads down.
Yes.
And they're looking for that, aha, this is exactly what I was looking for moment.
Right.
So if we can help people find that and help showcase the culture of a hotel,
Yes.
That really positions the client in a really nice way. So that's what I want to be known for.
Wow. So you can come in, you can help them analyze, assess, determine what they want their cultural to be. What they want their clients or customers, guests, to think about and talk about and say about the hotel before and after the experience.
Exactly. People are thinking of the authentic. What's authentic right now? So we help them market that.
Yes.
And make sure that we're offering a unique service offering through their direct channels that they can't find elsewhere. So if somebody is checking booking.com first, that's fine.
Right.
But a lot of people will jump over here, and if they find something that they can't get anywhere else, as you know, urgency, USP, that creates the direct connection.
Wonderful. Well, now, you're doing some unique things. There's a lot of other companies. I've been in the copywriting industry, either directly and then peripherally, for 50 years, actually. My first stumble, as I told you earlier, is about 21 years old, is I applied for my first copywriting job and was politely shown the door. And after that, I took it as a personal challenge to find out what exactly was copywriting, and eventually learned enough so I was hired as a junior copywriter. And I've always been fascinated by it. But you're doing some unique things. There's lots of, I found that I was astonished. I remember when I moved into my first new offices, I found the company next door was copywriters. People upstairs are copywriters. People everywhere are in the copywriting industry because it is so vitally important to all businesses. So what is unique, different, special about what you do that makes you different from your competitors?
Yeah, I think the main word is response.
Right.
You need to be able to measure the response. So hotels, in a lot of cases, they do some marketing, and then it goes to a Chinese menu booking engine, and they don't know what created what.
Yes.
They can't take credit for it at the end of the day, which is bad for their marketing department, but we can. That's what's different with us. We have a newsletter that we can actually measure the ROI. We can measure, who booked, how many room nights, which promotions did the best. And because we have that, it actually does, it lets us offer a service performance guarantee, which means that hotels can try this, and if it falls short of that guarantee, we actually write them a refund check for the bookings they didn't get.
Right.
So this lets them set up their demand channels in a very quick, safe, and easy way. And since actually this is an area-specific service, only one hotel in each city can have it. So, it lets them build their competitive advantage.
So you have a kind of an exclusive package, resort package that people can get just through you. Well, now, what people want to know, especially a hotelier who's listening to this, hoteliers are some of the most jaded and skeptical people in the history of the world because they have been approached by every conceivable offering, all of which want their money on a speculative basis with little or no guarantee. And so whenever they hear anything, of course they're always open to something that will increase bookings and profitability, but they're skeptical at the same time. So what they want to know about is, okay, you say it, but who else says it? And that's really in our sales stuff that we've done, is you say it, but who else says it? Who else agrees with you? Who else has actually followed your idea and actually got the result that you're talking about? So can you give us a story, a before and after story when a hotel or hotel grouping was here and after they followed your process and your system and they were here afterwards and maybe became very successful in the industry?
So I have a really good story of a hotel that used their culture, that used the attractions around their area.
Right.
One of my partners, Jason McKee, he was working with this hotel down in Peachtree City, Georgia, and they had a beautiful 27-hole golf course next to them.
Right.
You know, just a partner, next door neighbor. So what he did is he thought of the idea of getting a $10,000 hole-in-one golf competition together. And he went to a company that put odds on each of the holes, and then he called up a bunch of people, group sales prospects, and invited them for a day on the greens.
Right.
He had drink stations, he had bands, he had a barbecue pit.
Wow.
And for $3,500 and about 30 hours of prep time, he walked away with $224,000. So I use this not as an example of gains, because every hotel is different, every case is different.
Right.
But it's an example of how you can use the culture and the local attractions to really power your marketing and have a good time while you're doing it.
My favorite word in business, and especially in promotion, is clarity. And so it sounds like the example that you used, your friend was very clear about the prospective guest or client.
Yes.
They're obviously golfers and probably golfaholics, because they're the only kind of people that would be really motivated by a hole-in-one type of competition. So the most important point is clarity with regard to who your ideal customer is.
Exactly.
Who's the person we're going to aim at, and avoiding the temptation to aim at everybody. The wide net. Idea of approaching everybody who plays golf occasionally, but people who play golf probably religiously. And that's so important, because whenever I talk to a company, I say, well, who is your perfect customer, ideal customer? If you could get only this type of customer, which type of customer would you want more than anything else? And that's the starting point. And it's astonishing how many people in all businesses are not really sure. Well, it's somebody who stays at a business hotel, travels on business. So how can people reach you if they want to get more ideas about your services and use your services?
Oh yeah, they can go to moredirectbooking.com.
More direct booking.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want more direct bookings, that's the place to go.
Wonderful.
And they can see our services, our products. They can also schedule a consulting call with me.
Right.
That's where we get on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes.
Yes.
And we talk about the culture that they want to create.
Right.
They talk about the services that they can offer that are unique.
Yes.
And then I show them how they can create their own demand channels to target those special guests, those unique guests. And if they like what they see, we can go ahead and basically we pair them with a dedicated copywriter, and we turn that strategy into a reality.
Wonderful. One of the things I've learned in advertising and promotion is you just can't do it yourself, and you can't do it in a random way. It has to be a very, very carefully thought out strategy. It's carefully planned and developed and then pursued and adjusted continuously as you go along. And that's what it sounds like. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, Jeremiah, give us your idea of one piece of advice that you would give people who want to be more successful in the months and years ahead with all of this incredible turbulence and change and competition.
In the hospitality industry specifically, I would say that there's so much competition from third parties. Like I said, Booking.com, they're taking 60 and 70% of a hotel's business. So if now that even Google is getting in on the game, that's a lot for people to deal with.
Yes.
But if you realize that kind of Google's main idea is if you're awesome and you're helpful and you're really guiding people along their, helping them overcome problems.
Helping them, yes.
Yeah, helping people, then you're going to be highlighted. And in a world of noise and in a world of clutter, true quality, it still stands out.
Yes.
And I think more than ever.
Yeah, thank you. It's so important to build that loyalty, because once you've built the loyalty, then you can go forever. But without the loyalty, then you're always fighting for the next customer.
That's exactly right.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
It's been a pleasure, Brian.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.